Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Shooting Thoughts with Remington Yates. I'm, of course, Sports Director Remington Yates. And alongside me today, one of my color commentators from Lewis County Scoop Sports Broadcasting, the host of Talkin Ball with AE8, the all-time hits leader at Payson Seymour High School, 87 hits in your career.
Oh, yeah.
And now Culver-Stockton College athlete. And you're going to get to go to Puerto Rico and play some summer ball this year in June. I am so excited for you on that. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Ertz, Mr. AE8 himself.
Thank you, Remy. How are we doing, baby?
Oh,
How are we doing?
Goodness, dude. We haven't got to do a podcast together yet. And, I've been waiting for you to get back with the AE8 stuff and get on with you on that one. I mean,
Culver's done a little bit of itchy things with the podcast room, so it gets hard to get into it. You know what I mean?
It is. I mean, it gets busy in that room too.
Oh, 100%.
Kids
yes,
are using it. That's what I love about it, though, is that Culver has continued to find a lot of ways to innovate kids into just getting their hands on with stuff.
Oh, yes.
Like whether it's the Wildcat Network, the podcast studio, even like one of my favorite programs there, and I was never even a part of it, was our law.
Oh, yeah, like the fallen officer.
Yeah, the criminal justice office and everything. All the stuff they got down there, too. And like the simulation room and stuff like that. It's like, that's what I love about Culver, is it's just a small little gem in Northeast Missouri.
But they have so much options. So many
options and stuff. And so that's just what makes it so great, man. But, we share a very fondness of baseball.
100%.
Baseball.
Yes.
MLB has been under the way.
It has. My Red Sox. Yeah.
Dude, no. I'm so sorry. It's still early. It's still.
Same for you. I mean, you guys are doing pretty good. I'm going to back-to-back home games at Busch Stadium. Red Sox, Cardinals, April 10th and April 11th, going down there.
I'll be at Busch Stadium April 24th. I believe I'm going to take my mother down there. We'll see the Mariners. And
the Mariners. That's a good one.
It's going to be a good game. Dude, the Cardinals offense is so fun to watch. It's been so exciting. And I don't even watch it. I listen on the radio, and then I watch the highlights later. And I looked in on your Red Sox as well a little bit, because I know you're a big fan of them and everything. And it just seems like injuries have just kind of, like every headline is just injuries. And I'm like, it's this early in the season and the team's being plagued by injuries this bad?
It's just the fact that all of our key players play in the World Baseball Classic. And yes, you want to go play for your country.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you play for your country, you got to put it all on the line, all in or nothing, because you can't look bad for your country. So I know a couple guys got injured here and there. I know Wilmer Abreu's struggling with a hamstring injury right now. Roman Anthony played for Team USA. He's a little bit injured. He hit a bomb the other night, though. But your Cardinals, man, I tell you what.
I think pitching staff.
It's just insane to think about. Like, the thing is, what my dad said a couple nights ago, you guys have nothing to lose. You guys came into this season knowing that you guys might it's going to be a good season, or it's going to be a really, really, really bad season.
Yeah.
And you guys are starting off hot. You had a great spring training. You have a great start of the first couple of weeks here. And J.J. Weatherholt might be the next big thing. He might be the next,
if he's not already in the talks for Rookie of the Year so far with what he's done. Literally, his first two games, his first home run, and it was his second at bat. He hits a home run.
First walk-off.
First walk-off victory in game 2. And I mean, and people in 6 games, and I've already seen people complain about certain things. I'm like, we're only 6 games into the season. Like, biggest thing was, like, Mason Wynn leaving runners in scoring position. I'm like, we're 5-6 games into the season, and we're already complaining about this?
Speaking of Mason Wynn, he is lucky to be alive, man. He is so lucky, dude.
Well, and it's like the Cardinals have already gone through that before.
With the I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the name is slipping my mind right now, but yeah, he had the boating accident and everything, and it was just, and every team has kind of gone through that. And that stuff is just, it's tragic to go through. I remember I was working for it was the Quincy Gems at the time, in 22. You were still in high school at that point. And that was a really good team. That was one of Brad Gorkis's first years as manager in the summer league, and he had studs like Lucas Luce and Zach Stewart, who
you can't get enough of that man.
I want to get that man on. I want to get that man on this podcast.
He's still balling out. He just had a 114 mile an hour double.
Yeah. And he's still, plays right field for Arkansas Razorbacks, which I will hold that against him but I love the guy. He was so great. Because I would do the Gatorades before the game. I would make the Gatorades as an intern, and every time he'd stop me and go, "What flavor we got today?" I only had like 3 options, like lemon, lime, grape, and probably, I think it was like fruit punch. It was the powdered Gatorade you pour in the.
Yes. But Zach Stewart is one of those things that it was like a diamond in the rough. Like, he was a senior. You can't sit at home. You got to understand this. He was a senior in high school. He's 18 years old. Goes to the biggest summer league team in the area, or I'd say one of the biggest ones in the nation. In my mind,
very long history.
Yeah, goes in there, 21 home runs through 25 games.
Yeah,
you can't.
Straight out of high
18
school.
18 years old,
and he's going to Missouri State.
Didn't have a college AB.
Yeah,
has never had a college AB. And
never had a college AB. He's straight out of high school, playing in the summer league. He's got college eligibility, of course.
Yeah.
And he's going straight to Missouri State. Like, you already know, like, oh, he's going to Missouri State. That's a Division I school. Not a school that, people talk about a lot in baseball.
Right.
But it's still one of those big schools that he's like, okay, this kid's going to be something probably.
They're all right, yeah.
And he has proven himself. And of course, he proved himself at Missouri State. Arkansas saw him and go,
we got to get him.
We got to get him. And they did. And they got him. And I'm sure there was a lot of colleges that were just like,
oh,
him.
Dude,
I want him. But
I bet people were just
and
wondering.
He's a Missouri kid, too. I mean, he's from the state of Missouri.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, originally from Missouri.
Probably down there on the bottom.
Yeah, somewhere. I think somewhere in the St. Louis area. Yeah. I'd have to look again. But, that is a kid I would love to get on this podcast if I could. Because, he's playing for the Gems and everything. And again, Quincy Gems, now, it's the Quincy Doggy Paddlers. That is not just a Quincy thing. That is a whole tri-state area.
It's a whole tri-state thing. Yeah.
And, you're bored on a summer day. Doggy Paddlers are playing, man. And they have been building a good program there. Golden Rule Entertainment, who are the owners of the team, they're going to have 3 teams this year. The Horseshoes, the Doggy Paddlers, and then the Decatur team, which I can't remember if
they don't have a name yet.
They still don't have a name yet.
It might be don't hate me on this. It might be a remake of the Doggy Paddlers again from last season.
Yeah.
They're late on it. They don't even have people on the roster.
They were late.
They don't have people on the roster. It's what? Sorry, I'm checking my phone. It's April 3rd. It's April 3rd. They don't have a roster.
Season gets started in May. Yeah, so
a month.
Yeah, Doggy Paddlers waited a long time, but yeah, and baseball is getting underway. Which college, you guys started back in February, which I know that drives guys like Brad nuts. Like, why are we playing in February?
It's awful.
You get on Twitter and you just look at Brad's Twitter, and it's
just like bad.
I love the guy, but that is one of I love when he gets on about that. I agree with him too. I think that's nuts that we have to. Spring training, but they're playing in Florida
and Arizona. It's 2 beautiful states to play baseball in year round. You can't complain about that.
The biggest thing with baseball this year, though, and especially at the MLB, has been the introduction of the ABS system.
Oh God, yeah.
What have you been your thoughts so far this season with the ABS system?
If I'm a pitcher, I'm getting mad. I'm getting thrown out every game.
Right. It is driving you nuts because you are hitting these perfect zones that are tricking these umpires. But yet there have been some bad calls by the umps still with this system. There was one right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
He called it a ball, and even the catcher froze. And is like,
I just think,
what are you doing?
I think here it's just like the new thing every single year. There's always a new thing added to baseball, like the pitch clock a couple years ago. People just got to adjust to it. I just think we're not used to it yet. I think there's going to be some things that are going to be changed later on. I bet there's going to be like a team limit next year, or there's going to be a player limit, like 3 per inning for each player.
Because right now the system is you get 2. The whole team gets 2. Only the batter, the pitcher, and the catcher can make the challenge. They can't get any help from the dugout. Only they can initiate the challenge by tapping their hat or their helmet. And C.B. Buckner had an awful night, and it's just like, you are the reason why we brought this in, because we needed some accountability for some of the god-awful umpiring that you have done, because you won't just get out of the game. And again, it comes down to, and you talk about it more, the umpires union has held umpires accountability to 0.
Yes.
MLB has been able to do nothing about anything because the umpires union is so strong.
100%.
And so now the MLB is just like, how can we hold them accountable and show that there needs to be a lot more accountability? And I think this is a big way to do that.
Yeah.
I've kind of loved it because it has added a lot more chaos to the MLB season in a lot of ways. We've already had a manager be ejected over it because and it was over Ryan Helsley.
Helsley, dude.
Dude is having a resurgence right now. Which I guess that's what happens when you actually go to a good organization like Baltimore and being traded to the Mets. And
Dad. He's definitely gonna be watching this and be like,
he will. But let's be honest though.
Oh, you're right, 100%. They just have too much money to play with. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
it's just like the Dodgers are one of those teams. Okay, backtrack a little bit.
Yes, we're gonna backtrack.
Because I had something to say about the umpire thing. I think what needs to happen with the umpires, I think it needs to be set to a standard.
Yes.
I think if you have a bad couple of games, say you have a bad month, you need to be sent back down to minor leagues.
Yes,
it needs to just be like the players.
Yes.
Bring an umpire up from the minor leagues to major leagues.
The ones that have been the best performance.
Filter in. You got to get younger guys in.
We literally have MLB grade cards and everything. Like it's a whole website and everything. It's like, why don't we just incorporate that into the game now and just use that to hold these umpires? And that has been just it. Is the umpires have had such personalities. Joe West, C.B. Buckner, Angel Hernandez. And I mean, I like Joe West because he could actually be entertaining.
Joe West was hilarious.
He was hilarious. Yes. He was also not the best umpire.
No,
he's made some bad calls in his time. But, it's just like, yeah, we've needed some accountability for some time. Now, there's no accountability at the college level, like none whatsoever. No. Youth sports, it's just
a bunch of teenagers trying to get money from
the Wild West.
Yeah,
at the high school and youth scene because it's just I don't know. The umpires are there; they're trying to do their best, and the parents, depending on your area, which I always say it's more of the bigger.
It's the bigger schools, 100%.
Bigger schools and the bigger travel ball leagues and stuff like that. Because
travel ball,
everyone thinks that their kid's going to be the next MLB player, and it's just like, God, please.
Yeah, the travel ball parents are insane, man. I tell you what, we were over in Jacksonville. I was coaching a couple weeks, just last week for Payson. We played a team over there, and Lincoln Way East was there. They're one of the best high schools in the nation for baseball. Those fans, man.
Get under your skin.
Good. If I'm an umpire, I'm throwing the entire.
Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone.
Everyone with the blue Lincoln Way East shirt is being thrown out of the stadium. I mean, they were insane. Like, they were screaming at the umpire. It's the first pitch of the first game. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
It's just insane to me that parents that. I understand you pay that much money for travel ball. Like, I saw a podcast. Matt Chapman was on a podcast. He paid $40,000 for his son. He's 9 years old to play travel baseball.
What are we doing?
It's just baseball's getting out of hand, man.
What happened to just good old-fashioned town ball where everyone got to represent?
You go to a firehouse and play baseball.
Yeah,
you just sandlot baseball.
I mean, we still have that here in Lewis County. You're a guy from Payson Seymour, so you were never. Well, actually, you did play a little bit in Lewis County in your youth days.
Little bit Durham.
You little bit Durham.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man. We actually. I was taking you. I think we were going to go call a game somewhere.
Highland.
Yeah, we were going to Highland to call a game, and you were riding with me, you were driving there.
Mm-hmm.
And you went through Durham.
I had to stop.
You hadn't been in Durham in a long
since
time.
I was 11, and it made me stop. I'm like, man, that is short now. Like, that field used to look giant.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, it's run down now.
Yeah,
and they used to hold it up great, and it was just sad.
And I mean, that's the thing. You look at a lot of small communities nowadays. They don't get as much money anymore.
No.
There's no populations really anymore because people have moved away, and all the money and everything's in the cities now.
They're all going to private schools. All the little kids
everything is broken away. And I mean, and so that's where you're seeing a lot of times where these small rural communities can't hold up their town ball, and they can't hold up their ball fields. They can't hold up a lot of their high schools. It feels like, and. I hate getting political and stuff like that, but I mean, you look at some of the legislation that's coming through, like open enrollment, stuff like that. It's gonna force a lot of change here, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna like it, and I don't like it. I really don't. But rural communities don't get the love and the respect and the attention that they need anymore.
And the only thing that really gets them through is. If your high school baseball team or high school football, basketball, whatever, women's sports go to state, that's the only recognition you get all year long. Like, shout out Brown County. They had football went to state. Their girls basketball team got 4th in state. Their boys basketball team went to state. Their baseball team's great. Yes. I mean, their softball team's great. I mean, they're getting recognition. They're getting money because they're doing good, man. Yes. And that's what I like to see about these small communities. I mean, they're not that small. They're a 1A school still. Yes, it's small to a lot of people, but I mean, that still gets your name on the map. And it still gets people.
And I mean, even then, you want to look at the comparison of community, just the strength of community, the bond of community.
Oh yeah,
I think small rural communities have a better bond and relationship when it comes to their high school athletics than a lot of these big cities.
I was telling my grandpa, shout out Grandpa Ertz, we were sitting there talking about the game we called for Principia Highland, the rematch.
The rematch, yes.
And I'm not a Highland fan by any means, but at that time,
you would become a Highland fan.
I'm not kidding. I don't think you understand. Like, I sat there next to you, and I'm like, I've never seen something like this in my life. I mean, 2 hours before game time, I can only imagine the line outside.
Hannibal High School.
Very big biggest gyms I've ever been
this area,
besides Quincy High. There was not a seat empty. It was standing room only.
Especially across from us.
In 2026, you don't see that.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at around the whole place, it was so much people there for Highland, people from Palmyra, Monroe City, Quincy.
Even Hannibal.
People were showing out, and then there was just a small little section of Principia people.
Fans, like barely that much. Like there might have been a little section
and
like
even
this.
then, when we did the first game, there was still a good chunk of
Highland.
What was it? Winfield. We were at Winfield.
Yep.
And the one side was Highland people, and I mean, it was almost fully packed over there.
Yep.
And then on our side, we were with the Principia parents, and it was just a small little section over here, and we're just like,
oh, well, I didn't realize
St. Louis school.
I didn't realize how packed it was until I stood up at halftime, or it wasn't halftime. Excuse me, it was the end of the third quarter because they had like that little mark.
Yes.
And I stood up and looked behind me, and the entire back of us was filled too.
Yes.
I thought it was just the front. The back was filled too. And I'm like, that is nuts.
I don't think they realized how packed that place was. When I got on Facebook and I seen all the people from all the different communities that I know of just saying, we'll be there. Oh my goodness. And I mean, it was
nuts.
People witnessed history because this has never been done before. Nobody had ever said, we're going to restart the game at this certain point where the error happened in a game, and we are going to finish this game as it should have.
But you got to say this. You got to shout out to Principia for that because, they
wanted to do it too.
I know a lot of teams that would be like, no, we won, we're done.
We won, yeah.
Because if I'm a coach and I'm in that standpoint, my girls are cold. They haven't played in a couple of days. Highland just came off and almost kicked our butts. They should have won. Do I really want to rematch and lose?
Well, should have tied. They should have tied.
Yeah. And did Principia win state? They ended up winning state,
yeah,
right?
They did.
Yeah, and
dominantly. I mean, just
ran through it. Everything.
Yes,
that's what I thought. And you know what? If I shout out Highland too, I saw a video of the coach,
Jacob. Ashton Jacob.
Yep. And she went into the room, and was like, she was acting sad, and then she finally was like, we're playing, and they all freaked out. And I think they had a practice that same night.
Like they immediately went to the gym.
And that is nuts to me. Like, you don't see that very much. Shout out her. It's the small, just like you said, small town, man. You don't see that often at all. And shout out Misha for actually going through with that and, making things right. Because I heard that the Principia boys did that a couple years prior. And
it was a couple years prior, but there were so many different circumstances too with that. And that's why I think Misha put out that big press release that they did, because they had to make people understand that there are different circumstances between what happened 2 years ago and what happened last year and what happened this year.
Everything
was on video. And the thing is the boys, it was Cooper or Cooter. It was the Cooter boys taking on Principia. They didn't try and do the whole formal protest right then and there.
They waited.
They had figured it out long after the game. Jaco and her staff, and even the Principia staff, noticed it immediately and tried to bring it up. And this was and you read the press release too. It stated that in a point of emphasis email that was sent out to all playoff officials about being allowed to use both of the team books to challenge the official scoring book.
Yeah.
And so that's what she tried to do, but the officials would not allow the challenge to happen.
Yep.
And a lot of people were surprised, which I don't know who the official was, but some people would tell me they were surprised when they learned who it was.
Went to the high school my dad went to.
Okay. But and he just a lot of people were surprised, and it was just, there was so much wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
And they had tried, and if they had gotten it right the first time, we'd had different results. But because there was so much and so many protocols weren't followed, it became, we have to fix this. We have to do the right thing. And both schools wanted to do the right thing, especially Principia, because they wanted to do the right thing. And so, and it just showed a great bond of local community of let's come together and support this local team that almost lost due to controversial fashion, and cheer them on. And, the game didn't go how a lot of people thought it would finish out. But again, that was,
you couldn't make it up any better.
You couldn't make it up any better. And so, but even then, at least the right thing was done.
Yes.
And so, again, just a great bond of, just showing strength in community. And I hope that, and one thing that I love is how, the Field of Dreams is coming back.
Oh,
and show that, baseball in rural communities is still big because that is a big thing. Is just this game in Iowa played around the cornfield by the biggest pros ever. And some of them guys, some of them might have been from that area or been just in that area and idolized that movie and idolized small town baseball and played small town baseball. And so that's what I love is that trying to strengthen rural communities and everything like that, and just trying to find ways to continue to build small communities like Payson Seymour, like Lewistown, Highland High School, like Canton. Like Brown County, Camp Point Central. I mean, a lot of these small schools have so much history and so much success.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's great to see that small rural communities can still, show, hey, we've got talent too.
100%. Yeah, I brought my dad to Field of Dreams last year. He was the first. That was actually his first time being there. I've been there a lot. I mean, last summer I went there 3 times.
Yeah.
And, watching the movie so my dad and I, it was for his birthday present. We sat up in my man cave and watched the movie. It was me, my girlfriend, and him. We sat there and watched it. And I tell you what, man, I don't get emotional very often, but seeing my dad sit there and just awe of watching that movie and then going to Field of Dreams, we didn't know this until we got there. The Ghost came out of the corn and played a game. Yeah. They only do it once a year. And we went to that one time. And seeing my dad just sit there watching him play and seeing those guys go out there and pull fans, little kids out, making them fall in love with the game, just seeing my dad relive what my dad was a great baseball player, and that's where I've learned it from. And, being in a small town, that was just like, man, that's why I played baseball. That was insane to me. It was crazy cool. I'm glad they still do that too, because, not many people like to go to a random movie site in the middle of Iowa around corn, but it's fantastic to see that people are still going there. I mean, I bet there was all of 1,000 people. There was people from Germany. Right. There was people from Florida, California, Boston, everywhere. Just to be in Iowa, in the middle of Iowa, watching a couple of old guys play baseball with kids on a cornfield baseball field is beautiful.
Now, here's what surprised me is this will be the 3rd rendition of this game, I believe. They did 2.
Second.
Is this only the second? I thought
they did a Yankees White Sox. Supposed to do one last year, got canceled.
Okay, so I thought there was another one, but it was a bad game.
Yeah.
But they're doing this one this year. What has always surprised me is that they didn't try and do the Cardinals Cubs yet. How could you not?
So here's the thing I think they're doing. I think they're going to wait. 2030, I bet. Okay. Because guess what? They haven't done a Yankees Red Sox one.
That would be a fun one to watch.
Because the Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Cardinals will be.
Those are the 2 most debated rivalries in baseball. In all honesty, and I mean, it depended on what era you grew up in. I mean, the '90s Cardinals Cubs. Oh my goodness, fist or
early 2000s.
Oh, even then, it's still, insane. These teams are trying to knock each other out of the playoffs. They're meeting up every year. They're trying to win the division title and everything. And just these 2 teams just kept going at it. You had the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire rivalry.
Yeah, the home run rivalry.
Who's going to be the home run king and everything like that. And even then, in other sports, you still had St. Louis and Chicago going at it in hockey.
Or even football, man. I hate how they brought the Rams out of there, man.
Oh, my God.
I hate that so much. The Rams.
Go Battlehawks.
Yeah, Battlehawks, yes. Is that XFL? Is that XFL now?
Or UFL now.
UFL?
The XFL and... I can't remember what the other league was called, but they combined together to make the UFL. And so
the XFL was hilarious. There was this one dude, quarterback. He was like, "Do I still have a pulse? Am I here to play football?"
Oh God, that was the old XFL. That was the 2000s XFL.
That was hilarious.
Where it was, it was Vince McMahon in charge of it.
That was like just you're watching UFC on a football field.
He took WWE and he's like.
Football. Yeah. And they were just basically out there killing each other. Blindsiding, line drive.
Their original idea, and I think they did this for a game, was for the kickoff format, instead of doing a kickoff, they dropped the ball from a helicopter. And 2 guys had to run out and try and get the ball.
It was nuts.
Possession. It's like, what are we doing?
But the thing I love is how the this is the one thing I do like about sports. They have the small town system. I don't know if you saw Trevor Bauer just signed a contract.
Did.
So the thing I love is that the indie ball, it was about time, too. I called my dad instantly.
Oh, my God.
The Long Island Ducks.
Yeah, the Long Island Ducks, but there was a manager from back in the day. It was one of those little small indie balls. It was like a YouTube channel called Playing for Peanuts, and he was a manager for one of the teams.
Oh, my goodness, dude.
You know what I'm talking about. He
threw the bats on the field and the buckets, and he was like,
one of the greatest.
Let me talk to the announcer. It was
one of the greatest baseball manager meltdowns I've ever seen.
You got to throw a clip in there, dude.
Oh my God! Yeah, we're gonna throw a clip of that in there where he's just throwing the bats and everything.
That coach I like his post game talk.
Read it in your report. Read it in your. He just starts dropping because it was after he got ejected. He was done, and that was just one of the. But like indie ball can be some of the most entertaining and yet fun ball, especially for small towns. And I'm glad and again, go back to Dougie Paddlers. We have small local, you get to see some college baseball teams, which, they've been signing a lot of guys from all over. I'm hoping here soon they'll start getting some local guys.
All Division I people.
Yeah, it's been a lot of big guys. Some guys from like some trade schools I've seen. I'm like, trade schools?
Yeah, there was one Milwaukee Tech guy.
I was like, that's interesting. That'll be fun. But I'm hoping, maybe we'll see, a couple QU guys, a couple Culver-Stockton guys.
I think shout out Harry Fondre and Brady Kinehart. He was an old Payson guy. He moved to Quincy Notre Dame in his high school years. But he signed, Harry Fondre from Quincy University signed, and I believe another Quincy pitcher signed. But I think
good, because you still gotta have some local talent, then because you gotta bring in the local fans. Like you gotta bring some big talent. People that people will see on NCAA TV or anything like that. And you still got to bring some local guys in too,
100%.
To bring those small communities out. And it's like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy play, over at Culver or at QU and stuff. Or, I remember, and of course, a lot of those guys from those small local schools are from those areas.
Yes.
And so, a lot of the people come out because a lot of people came out. I remember a lot of people came out for you, Kindheart, just a lot of these local guys that just came to their hometown team pretty much and got to play for which of course it wasn't the same hometown team. It's a new team entirely. They didn't get to keep any of the history of the Gems, which I was super disappointed in that and everything. Well. I kind of wish they'd have just said, you get the history, you get everything, you can have it all. I just don't think they could have went with the Gems name because I've always said the way that team just kind of
ended. It was just bad.
It ended. It just ended. There was no big send off. There was no.
It was kind of like a funeral, honestly. Like at the end of the year, I knew Jimmy and Julie very well.
Yes,
I worked with them at.
I worked for them too, and they were fantastic people.
And I think the thing was, they bit off more than they could chew. I mean, they own the Belters.
And it's still the same way with the league now. Is everybody has a little bit of stake in every single team.
The thing that here's the thing. I was listening to Matt Shuckman and Chris Dewar's thing about the top baseball players they played on. The very end of their video, they talked about who owns the Doggy Paddlers, Decatur, and
Golden Rule Entertainment, which consists of a lot of different people. One of them is WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
I can't remember the other.
There's a husband and wife that own it as well.
Yes, and it's a great because they took the Springfield team, which is the Springfield Sliders back in the day. Which,
oh my goodness,
the turtle logo and everything.
Awful. They had a whole green stadium. It was not it.
Dude, the Unis,
I remember that.
It's sometimes you look at something and you go, man, that does not look good, and then you go, but I would still buy all the merch.
100%,
so the Springfield Sliders, and it was just a turtle sliding across the
field.
It was like, it's fine, but then they came in, they took over, and they turned it into the Lucky Horseshoes, and it's like they started following the minor league format. Which of course, they look at a lot of the minor league teams,
they're crazy, like the Montreal Biscuits.
The Rocket Trash Pandas, it was one of the original ones. Yep. There's just a raccoon and a trash can, and it's rocketing off to space, and it's great. And that's up in Iowa.
Yeah.
Tri-Cities?
I think that's right, yeah.
Love to go to a game up there.
But the thing is, though, I think that these owners buy too many teams and then realize a couple years later, like, man, what did I do? And I think that's what Jimmy and Julie did, because here's the thing. As a kid, I worked for the gyms for 11 years, 10 years. I believe I was a bat boy for them forever. And it was just like at the end of that season, I know there was a press release by Harold Wigg in the middle of the year. Are the gyms fading? That was the comment. And my dad and I kind of read it because I was supposed to play my senior year for the gyms, and I didn't because they ended up leaving.
Yes.
So it was one of those things where at the end of the year, you're sitting there wondering all year long, are they going to end? And then December came around, and then you got the notification, breaking news.
We all did.
The gyms are leaving.
We all, I sat there and just looked at it, and I was like, what?
It's just one of those things that it was around every year. If you had nothing to do, like you said earlier, go to a game. And me and my dad, it's funny, me and my dad were going through photo galleries, and my first ever baseball game, my dad had me right here. I was like 5 months old.
Yeah.
Not even. I might have been 2 because the season was just right after when I was born, April. And he was like, man, that was you, and now look at you. I was playing there, and it was just stepping onto that field for the first time, hearing my name on the intercom. It was just one of those things like, I don't know if you watched my first AB, I got hit. But those first 2 swings I took, I was so jittery up there. I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't hear my walk-up song. I didn't hear my name get called. I didn't hear the fans. It was one of those things that it was just like everything was calm. And I'm like, this is insane to be a part of this right now.
Yeah. And I will say I enjoyed, the first, I started off in the season, I went to the Doggy Paddler games, and then, my schedule just fell apart the rest of the summer. People were like, "Hey, where you been? We missed you," and everything. I'm like, dude, my schedule fell apart, dude. I would have loved to have been more games and everything, but there were good crowds and everything, but they were still figuring a lot out. They're still trying, and I mean, I'm excited to see what they do this year, with the talent that they're bringing in, and the manager, they brought in
the junior college manager.
They brought in Brian Wassman to be the general manager.
Oh, yeah, that's a big move.
Great signing. Excellent signing. Brian Wassman was athletic director at Palmyra for a very long time. Excellent athletic director. Excellent dude. So I'm excited for that move there.
Was a stud too.
And I'm excited to see what they are able to build this year. And just really, try and make a push and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it comes to what they can do on the field and try and make a push for the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, you want to win that league title and bring it home to Quincy. Because if you do that in your second year,
big time.
Big time right there. And you get 3 teams to do it with, especially another new one that can do it too.
Decatur, yep.
So you've got Springfield, who's been at it for a long time. And there are some good teams out there. I mean, even some of the teams that are, playing at smaller fields and stuff like that, but they get good sport, like Alton. Alton gets
Alton, Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. That's a big time.
Great name, by the way.
But I tell you what, the biggest stadium, the biggest time I've ever felt like, man, this is real. This is happening. Clinton, Iowa.
Clinton?
The Lumber Kings, man, there's so much history. Jim Leland was a coach there for a minor league team. Ryan Sandberg was a manager there for the Peoria team at the time because after 2020, all those teams kind of died off of being in a minor league team because Clinton was a minor league team all the way to 2020.
Right.
And then they moved over to the Prospect League to keep it alive, and which I respect the heck out of because, I mean, not many people would think of that. But getting into that stadium, seeing all the statues outside the field, seeing the Hall of Fame wall they have, all the bobbleheads.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, Cattell Marte played on the same field I'm playing on right now. It was just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
It was insane to think about.
And I mean, one I'd love to go to, I think it's Jacksonville. The Rockabillys, the Jacksonville Rockabillys, they play.
Oh my goodness, Mountain Dew Field, Mountain Dew.
Oh my
park.
goodness, it's like a former minor league park there.
Yeah.
It was like the Generals or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a minor league affiliate to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they just inherited this big, beautiful minor league baseball.
So they played the GLVC conference,
and I'm just like, I want to go to there. I want to go to a game there. And it kind of does help to show that QU Park has got some work to do. And I mean, recently they raised up like a drinking, like a food and drink tax or something like that to replace the lights or something. People were angry about it. And I'm like, hold on now.
Do what they got to do.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
People were complaining like the university should put in money. I'm like, well, the university, I'm pretty sure, just put in a bunch of money to do what they did to the dugouts, which that's a whole.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
No. Anyway, but they spent money on that. God knows what Golden Rule Entertainment has tried to spend money on it. And the biggest problem you run into with QU Park, and I will say it again, it's the same issue with Clemens Field down in Hannibal.
Yeah.
Beautiful ballpark.
Clemens Field, I was the last team to play on it. It was...
Yeah. Both of them need a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because they are very old. They were built back in the 20s during the Great Depression to help create jobs and everything by the EPA, and they are protected by the federal government, and so you can't do major renovations to them.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because then it's like, well, this place needs fixed. We need repairs and stuff like that because, I mean, you go underneath there, it's very old down there, and there's pieces cracking.
Yeah, it's bad.
And it's just like, it needs some fixing up. It really does.
Speaking of Clemens Field, though, I will say this right here, right now. That ballpark, when it was popping, when there was minor league teams still playing there, and shout out Hannibal Caveman. I bet you haven't heard that one in a while.
Okay, real quick. They're doing a throwback night.
For?
The Doggy Paddlers.
Oh, are they?
Or they're going to go back to the Quincy Rivermen.
Oh, when Kirby Puckett played.
Yes.
Is that the Kirby Puckett bobblehead night?
I think so. I think it might be a different night. I'll have to look at the calendar when we get done with this. But they're doing a throwback night to the Quincy Rivermen. I said I will gladly buy a Quincy Rivermen jersey.
It's beautiful.
I wonder if they're going to do a throwback to maybe the Hannibal Cavemen sometime.
Are they playing the Hoots that night?
I don't know who they're playing, but I want to see a throwback to the Hannibal Hoots or the Hannibal Cavemen. I want to see the Hannibal.
The Hannibal Cavemen. I saw the logo. I saw the baseball. Logo. It was like a caveman with a bat right here. It was like a club basically. Yes. A caveman with a club, and then the ball was a stone.
Yes.
And it was just those logos back then.
Were
like
good.
You couldn't make
early 2000s
like
logo.
The Gems logo with the gem holding the bat.
Yes.
Green Gems was the best. I hate how they changed the red, white, and blue.
That kind of drove me nuts. I'm like,
the green. Like
I bought because they had a clearance section when I was working there, and in there was a old green jersey with the gold lettering and everything. I'm like, when you think of a diamond and a gem, I think money.
Money, right?
Because you spend a lot of money on gems and everything. Yeah. But either way, so I bought that one. It had the number 10 with it, which was funny because I wore it one day to work. And Brad wore the number 10 when he was managing that year, and he just looked at me and goes, "Nice." Which the dude of very few words. He is a man of very few words sometimes. But he just looked at me, "Nice. Got you, bud." But yeah, and I still have that one. I should have actually wore that today. I love that jersey. I was like, man, if they go back, because we didn't know what the name was going to be.
Oh, we did not know.
And I thought, if we're going to go back to the Gems, they need to go back to that jersey.
You can't go back to what they just had. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to go back to the green and gold, and I would have loved that. But they went with the doggy paddlers, and I will say it's nice. It's been nice. It's good for the kids and everything. They got the nice kid logos and everything like that. And it's been, and that's the thing. They're trying to build baseball for the kids. And I mean, it's yeah, and they're following the minor league format and everything, and I mean it's what every team's doing nowadays.
As a player that played there and wore the jerseys, and
the jerseys were not, Rawlings is not known for jerseys. Rawlings is known for baseballs.
That was not ideal. I will not lie.
I don't even remember who the jerseys were when they were the Gems, but they were
Adidas.
Was it Adidas?
It was.
I thought it was something else. Like, well, of course, I'm thinking of the year they were the Gems when I interned there for a year, where they were like Team One Sports or something like that.
Oh my goodness,
something like that, because they weren't even buttoned down. Like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna wear a jersey, it is buttoned down. If you're gonna wear a hat, flex fit hat,
or not snapback. It has to be the fitted.
It has to be the fitted hat. It is not. You do not get a snapback or Velcro or anything like that.
Hats, man.
And if you get a jersey, don't get just something you put on. You slide on over. Buttons. It has to have button up and down.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's and I know it's not affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
But
the thing with the doggy paddlers was, and I'll say this to the day I die, I'll tell my kids this, I'll tell my grandkids this, it was so thrown together.
Yes.
It looked like it was a 11-year baseball team.
So last minute it felt like.
And it was at the point, like our first day all together, we're all talking and stuff, we didn't even have pants.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
We didn't even have pants. We had to go buy our own pants from Dick's, and they were sold out.
I forgot about that.
Like our first game, we had no Jake Murder.
It's a great thing Dick's doesn't base things on commission.
Jake Murder wore Boomba digital camo pants. I wore my gray and black Easton pants. They actually matched the jersey, so thank goodness for Mama Sunshine, my mom, for picking that out for me. But
the dugouts weren't even done yet. I mean,
they
still
had railings. Yeah, they had railings till the second month after the All-Star break.
I was just like, man, the university waited too late, I feel like, getting that done. Which I also feel like, because there was a lot of rain that summer, it felt like. Or during that spring when they were working on that and trying to get it, or in between the end of the QU season. And I'm just kind of curious, though, is the plan eventually going to be build a new MLB or build a new stadium there in Quincy? I feel like
here's the thing.
I have to visit that sometime.
You just got to be at some point of it's getting too much. It's getting too out of control.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's so much culture and so much history at QU Stadium because Quincy Cubs played there.
Yeah.
The AAA team.
That place will never fall. That place has to stand forever.
Yeah.
But
it's basically a Quincy monument. When you drive by and you see all the players on the outside, you're just like, that's insanely cool.
And it used to not be that way, because back in the day, if they didn't have that on there, you seen the windows and the windows were barred, and some people would say, it kind of looked like a prison when you drove by. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but and I think that at least for what they had thrown together for the Doggy Paddlers, like I love the little helmets they were able to get, which we have one here, which was an ice cream bowl. Great idea. I mean, souvenir ice cream bowl. Yeah. And, I keep this in my office and stuff at home and everything, but I brought it here today because you're a Doggy Paddler guy.
Oh, yeah.
And, I love the logo. It's very nice. They put odes to the gyms in there and the old Rivermen and everything like that.
I'll give them that, yeah.
They tried to throw all the history into it.
Yeah.
And I love that they tried to. They're trying to build that connection to Quincy and everything, but not just Quincy. They're still trying to grow to the Rivermen. I mean, the Battle of the Ore, which was between the Cavemen and the Rivermen back in the day, where they literally played a game for the Ore. Yeah. And, I'm hoping someday we get a rivalry game with the Horseshoes and we get a rivalry game with the Decatur team, the Golden Rule series or something like that.
It'd be a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk something real quick. Okay. We're going to have a segment real fast.
All right.
Best throwback uniform in Major League Baseball, in your opinion? That one?
The baby blue. Because it is so iconic. The 80s, 90s.
But which one? The Ozzie Smith one with the V-neck? Okay.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
But this one still, because the colors just... Chef's kiss on the colors. I mean,
the colors are perfect. What do they wear? Me personally, the cream they used to wear when Matt Carpenter was still I don't know if you guys still wear the cream, but
God, we got so many alternate uniforms. Dude. I got on MLB The Show, which I have I think 24, 25 or something like that. I got on it not too long ago, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, we got so many uniforms. Oh, yeah. And then yet and I know it's not everyone's favorite, the City Connects. I kind of enjoyed them a little bit.
Most boring City Connects ever made.
All of them, or just the Cardinals one?
Yours.
Okay.
The Cardinals one.
What I like is whenever one of the St. Louis teams can find a way to incorporate the arch into the logo, I love it.
It's like the Blues logo you always like. It has the arch. It's like the one I don't like the most.
The dark navy blue with the crest.
Just cannot stand.
The arch in it. Yes, a lot of I get you don't like that. A lot of people I know want that one back, especially. We thought we were going to get that for the reverse retro, and then they kind of threw together this cream one, it felt like, and it was just like...
Not it.
I still bought it, though, because, you get these rare jerseys that you won't see very often in your lifetime. It's like, let me get my wallet out. Give me that.
I think if I have to go back... Dude, if I go back and think about my favorite retro jersey... It won't be a Red Sox jersey because the Red Sox, they're always boring. Them and the Yankees are so boring.
Yeah, because they've done the same thing. At least the Cardinals,
over and over again.
The Cardinals have stayed the same, but there's been alterations to it.
I think if I have to go back, you might have to search this up because I don't know if you're a Padres guy. The Padres used to have a blue camo jersey on military night, and they wore it sometimes every Sunday. Huh. This was back in this is when they're irrelevant as crap, 2009, 2010. Best jersey I've ever seen. They incorporated everything. They had the little Padres swinging the bat.
Which the Doggy Paddlers did too.
It was blue. Yeah. They switched them from being brown and gold to blue.
Yes.
And then, because I don't know if you knew this, but from 2010 to 2016, it was just blue and orange. Boring jerseys.
Yeah.
And then in 2017 they switched back to the brown and gold, which I love. They have probably some of the best jerseys in Major League Baseball right now. Them or the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have some great jerseys. Their throwbacks.
Go back to the Randy Johnson
era with the teal and purple. It just colors match so better. It's so good.
Go to hockey. I always thought the Arizona Coyotes, the Kachina jersey.
Goodness, the maroon with the little Aztec collars.
I'm thinking the old Kachina black ones and everything.
They're just so good. Or the Ducks. You got to go with the Ducks.
The old Mighty Ducks. Yes. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks, which they're still just only the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
But they have finally gone back to that logo. I think Disney has finally kind of given their blessing.
Okay, you can have it.
You kind of have to. We made you because of that movie.
Yes.
And also that duck logo is just that duck logo. The duck logo they had, where it was just the D, where it was the duck footprint. It was just
boring.
It's clever, but it's boring.
Yes, 100%.
The Blues have been consistent in hockey. I mean, it has been the same. It's just a matter of the color alteration.
I tell you what, my favorite Blues jersey. Oh my goodness, we're getting into jerseys now. This is gonna be a long talk.
We're gonna.
So the Blues,
how far are we already into this one? 43 minutes. We are doing great right now.
Great filling dead air in, folks. This is how we do it. So my favorite Blues jersey, if I have to go back. I'm switching up because I know we did this on a segment of my podcast a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago with someone else.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Blues jersey has to be when they incorporated red into it now.
Oh, the 90s jersey?
They're growing on me now.
The 90s jersey? Okay. I need to get me one of them, too. Like, I always like buying the jerseys of my teams that I love and everything. Yeah. I got to get a Battlehawks jersey, too.
I'm a little upset that I bought, like, one of the most boring Winter Classic jerseys of all time. It's just a blue and orange, or blue and yellow. It's the one I have from 2017, I believe.
Oh, yes, the 2017 one in Busch Stadium, which also amazing setup for the Winter Classic. Yes. And I mean, they went back to the 80s uniforms, which are fantastic. Again, I don't know what it is with St. Louis and having like baby blue or royal blue uniforms.
Every time, yeah.
But the Cardinals had it, the Blues had it. The Rams had it. I mean, which of course the Rams were going back to the LA times, but even then. And so it's just, something about St. Louis and royal blue just works.
Yes.
Which I guess, they have the little French emblem.
Yeah.
God dang it, what's it called? Le Fleur or something like that.
I always think about the Boy Scouts. It's like the Boy Scouts logo.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and I mean, I guess it works because, when you think about the French, you think of the French royalty and the revolution and everything like that. But, I think, there's some great throwbacks out there. I really do.
Oh, 100%.
Like what was so stupid was, and I loved them too, the reverse retros the NHL did, where they would kind of take like the 90s jerseys, but then alter the colors.
No, I tell you, the worst.
They were some of the best, but yet some of the worst. The Blues was, I was like, I don't like it, but I'd still buy one. I'm still looking for one.
Jersey I've ever seen in my life, like hands down worst jersey I've ever seen on a Major League Baseball field. They did this was before I was alive. It was King Griffey Jr. still playing on the Mariners. They did a blast to the past or blast to the future or something like that, and they had futuristic jerseys with no sleeves. The Mariners were maroon and silver, and the Royals that they played at the time were like green and purple. They were the worst jerseys. Pop them up, Remy, on here.
We'll pop them up.
Worst jerseys of all time. They drove
in to pop up every single jersey we're talking about, because some people won't even, like, when we're talking about hockey's one of
those things you gotta, like, you had to grow up watching it to like it.
Hockey is growing. I didn't grow up watching it. I kind of was always kind of like, oh yeah, the Blues, I watched them every now and again, but I kind of fallen out of sports. My love of sports had died when the Rams left. Cardinals had won the World Series, and I was like, yeah, great.
Why?
Oh, yay, the Rams and Jeff Fisher in charge.
They're gone.
And I will go into a whole episode about the Rams. Trust me, because there are still people that feel like, yes, I do believe some of the blame can go on the city of St. Louis.
Yeah.
Most of the blame goes on Stan Kroenke. Anyway, I'll go into that in an episode on my own probably someday, or maybe I'll find someone that'll talk about that whole mess. But either way, when it comes to the city of St. Louis, they have had, especially the state of Missouri, they have had every single league in their state.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But it seems like the two that have stayed in St. Louis has been hockey and baseball.
Yeah.
And the NFL had a good run. They did. I mean, and now the Chiefs are leaving Missouri. They're going over to Kansas. And, the Rams left back in the 2010s. I think
the Chiefs are leaving Missouri.
Yeah, they're going to Kansas City, Kansas. You didn't see about that?
No.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole ordeal.
What?
Yep.
What are they doing at Arrowhead Stadium then?
No idea.
XFL.
Right next to Kauffman Stadium.
That's a great transition though. You just like walk back and forth to one another.
Yeah. It was like, I remember like seeing on the news, like, because the Blues were in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs, and I mean this is when I started to really fall in love with hockey, because so we'll go into a whole story here. So at that time I was still in high school, 2019. I just joined the local fire department as a volunteer firefighter, and I got enrolled in Fire 1 and 2 courses, which are key things to become a full-time firefighter.
Yeah.
And we went down to Hannibal to do a vehicle extrication test or something. I can't remember what it was specifically, but it was kind of like an exam, pretty much, like an actual doing exam. What is it called? The hands-on
training?
Hands-on testing or something.
Something like that, yeah.
We did that. And so then we went down to the Hannibal Brewery, which was still open at the time.
Yes.
And it was a restaurant too, of course. So we went down there to eat, and I just looked up, and the Blues were playing. And this was in February, late February, I'd want to say. So things are starting to get turned around for the Blues. They are starting to go on the Gloria run.
Yeah.
And I just kind of watched, and I was like, man, this is kind of fun. Maybe I should watch a little more hockey when I go home and everything.
You got hooked.
And I caught a couple games. I was like, yeah, this is nice. And then playoff time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate to watching the playoffs. I dedicated to watching the playoffs. I fell in love with Jordan Bennington.
I
fell in love with hockey. And this is where my love of hockey came from, and my true love of sports was reignited, was the 2019 Blues. And so just watching this team go, and I think it was one day, because of course when the playoffs are going on, baseball is underway as well. It is getting started. And so there was a Cardinals game during the day, and the Blues were playing that night. And if you know, Busch Stadium is down near, closer to the river area.
Downtown,
but Enterprise Center is
right off the
a few blocks up, like 4 blocks away from Busch Stadium, I want to say.
Yeah.
So then there's just this mass migration of people who just leave the Cardinals game after it's over, and they go to the Blues game afterwards. So you're seeing people in Cardinals uniforms and Blues uniforms at both games. And even Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright were at the Blues game afterwards and cheering them on and everything. And it was just like, St. Louis is, in fact, a sports city. It's just they've had 2 teams with owners that have actually loved the city and have put their heart and soul into it. Now, a lot of people say the DeWitts don't feel like they have their heart and soul in St. Louis, but I still feel like they do. And you look at the history. They had the St. Louis Hawks, who won.
Oh, yeah, the basketball team.
Yeah. Now they're the Atlanta Hawks, and yet the Atlanta Hawks, I think only NBA championship, as far as I can tell, was won in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And yet, like 2 years later, they moved. It's like, why? Why did you move? So it just did not make sense. And then then you had the Arizona or the St. Louis Cardinals, the football team.
Oh yeah, and then
that one was kind of both the city and poor attendance. Yeah. So they moved to Arizona, and still
nothing. It's like poking a stick. Do something.
Come on, come on, Arizona, do something.
Do something.
That franchise has been
bad. Yeah, real bad.
Package it up.
Get got rid of Kyler Murray. I can see it too, though.
The writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the Rams came in. They moved from LA with the help of Stan Kroenke, surprisingly enough. Yeah. And the owner at the time, she kind of wanted to move it. Things weren't working out in LA, so they did. They won the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner, of all people, who
greatest show on turf.
The greatest show on turf. And they had a good run there afterwards. Just,
got beat by Brady. Couldn't get past Brady.
Couldn't get past Brady. They had another chance to do it. And then Kroenke took control. And when you announce that your next head coach is going to be Jeff Fisher, I think everyone should have seen the writing on the wall at that point in time.
Done.
And even then, though, Jeff Fisher did have a bit of a career because he was on that Tennessee Titans squad that matched up against St. Louis in that Super Bowl. And so I think a lot of people just, like, maybe. But then you actually see what Jeff Fisher was like as a head coach, and it just, they kept going 8-9 and pretty much every single year. He was the master of the 8-9.
I just remember when, I don't know if you remember this, his name was Tavon Austin, has the greatest college show. He was from West Virginia. He's like one of the best college recruitment video of all time. It was like, the song's called Hell and Back by Kid Ink.
Huh.
Search it up. It's like the best thing
I'll watch
ever.
that when I get home.
And so he
I got one for you as well.
Oh God. And he came to St. Louis. He got drafted.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh no, here we go. This is gonna be good. Like the Rams are gonna be fantastic. They went 4-0. And they're like, what is going on? Is Tavon Austin him?
Yeah.
Are they doing great? And then all of a sudden the Rams came out to play and they went 4-8. And
I think the last time I'd actually watched the St. Louis Rams game, because they were just so bad. It was actually the year they might have got the first overall pick, and they were playing the Oakland Raiders. Both teams were looking for their first win that year, and the Rams won that game.
Yeah, the Rams. I don't. Think
and I was just like, "What are we doing?" Man?
I watched the Rams game when Tavon Austin's debut was on there, and I never watched another one.
So you were talking about recruitment videos. This kid made a college recruitment video when he was young, because he's still young. I think he's in high school nowadays, but you might know the video very well. Hi, my name is Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Big Al for the Little League World Series. Yes.
My goodness, what a legend! He's
still hitting bombs though.
He's in high school though.
He's a PO now though. Yeah, he's a PO now. He's a pitcher only. He doesn't do
really, man. Yeah. What happened to hitting dingers only, man?
I remember sitting there watching the Little League World Series like it was nobody's tomorrow. I'd sit there and watch everything. I remember watching.
Dude, everybody watches Little League.
It's funny we bring this up. One of my buddies, I went to Chicago last year to play baseball, and I was in a hitting facility, Bill Miller's hitting facility. He coaches like Mike Tauchman, Cubs legend, now now a Met. He just got traded. He got hurt for the Mets.
Yeah.
We got my boy Ryan Fitzgerald, plays for the Dodgers now. Was ex Red Sox and Twin. He coached he just does a great job of just teaching people how to hit, even at the pro level. And I'm sitting there, and we're talking about the Little League World Series, and one of these guys walk over to me and like, "Hey, do you recognize me?" I'm staring at him like, "No." He pulls up a picture on his phone. So 2015, it might have been earlier than this, there was a Jackie Robinson Foundation team in Illinois that won the entire thing. They got it taken off because they had players from different counties on their team.
Oh.
He was a player on that team, and he had the Little League World Series ring on a necklace. And I'm like, that dude, I watched that guy. Like, I remember this dude now. And now we're best friends. We talk all the time. He's playing for the – he's playing –
You got some amazing best friends, dude.
He's playing for the – sorry, I'm saying this. Las Vegas Athletics. I don't like that.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I want to find – I want to go find – because I've been trying to collect, I'll even buy Cubs ones. Yes, sorry, but I want, almost every team's Flex Fit hat. I want to get I don't want this Las Vegas Athletics hat.
You want the Oakland.
I want an actual Oakland. And I know there's no difference between the hats. I don't care.
It's just retro.
It has to be one from the actual Oakland.
Well, I feel bad for Oakland, man. Like, it's not even their fault. It's the owner's fault.
It's the owner's fault, but also the city didn't do a lot to clean it up. But the fans,
oh my goodness, I'll never forget. I was watching. Shout out Zach Campbell. I don't know if you know who that is. He does
yes.
He went to their field. It was like last home game, and everyone's there. Or no, it wasn't. It was a couple weeks prior, and he goes up, and they had the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life. They had possums.
Yeah.
They had feral cats. They had rats. They had...
Fun fact, possum's the only marsupial in North America.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
And they were at Oakland.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense how they're... Like, I know, we grew up in this area. We know possums. They're everywhere. But yeah, only marsupial in North America, which means they're a mammal with a pocket to keep their babies in.
And they're just... Dude, like, that field just looks like crap. Like, it was so bad.
Yeah, which, I mean... You think about how much use that stadium got as well, because
they won how many World Series with Raleigh Fingers and Joe Morgan?
Literally, it was the place for Moneyball, where one of the best baseball movies ever, and the modern baseball strategy of analytics. And again, people will sit here, and I hear the old people will go, "Can't base everything on analytics." No,
they did.
They did a pretty damn good job about it. But you can't. You can't base everything on analytics, but you also can't base everything on the old way of thinking of, you look at a guy and just like...
You look at a 43-year-old Jim Tomei, that's his first name that came up to mind. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Yeah.
What he's going to do, hit a $185 and hit 20 home runs for you? What's he going to do? That's nothing.
Yeah, you have to find a way to mix them, and that's where I think sometimes the modern game of baseball gets lost with some of these young managers and general managers, is that they base everything on analytics, or the older managers base everything off of looks. And it's just like, you got to get some of these guys that are superstars and have that look and can inspire a team. But you've also got to find the guy that, analytic wise, is going to pitch out of his mind, is going to bat out of his mind.
And I feel like that's what the 2004 Red Sox did very well, too.
Yes,
they won the World Series. Curse of the Bambino was broke that year. They grabbed a crappy Minnesota Twin that's actually tattooed on my arm, David Ortiz. And he went in there.
Yep.
And, didn't play first couple games. Then got his first start for the Anaheim Angels.
Yeah.
It was a 20... I watched the Red Sox documentary like 15 times now. It was a 20-degree game in the middle of May.
Yeah.
He hit a ball 445 feet, dead wind in Anaheim. The wind don't blow in Anaheim. And they knew they had something special then. Then they went and played the Yankees in the Bronx. And he goes in there and hits 5 home runs in a 4-game series. And then they realized, man, we got something special here.
And even you look at the 2011 Cardinals. Yeah. David Freese. Should have never. If you ever looked at David Freese analytically, shouldn't have been
again.
Anything.
No.
But he was a hometown kid, and he wanted to play for his hometown. And they brought him on, and sure enough,
triple home run, wins the game, wins the World Series, done.
Wins game 6.
But did not win the MVP for the World Series, which shocks me. Who won that? I don't even know. It was a white guy, shortstop.
Wasn't it? Hold on here. I think it might have been David Freese, because he had a playoff run like no other that year. Eckstein, I think, won it in 2006.
Was it Scott? I feel like it was. Did Scott Rowland play in 11?
2011.
We're doing our.
We're gonna do our homework here.
This hat looks awful too.
It was David Freese. Third baseman David Freese was named the 2011 World Series MVP.
And who am I thinking of? Was it 06 that I'm thinking of? It was some white shortstop, short little white dude. What was his last name?
David Eckstein, I think.
That was him. That is right. Because he got a cereal named after him in St. Louis at the
Oh, you want to know what's funny? At home, I have a, and I wish we still did this when players would get on the
Wheaties box. Yes.
I have 2 Albert Pujols Wheaties boxes.
I have a.
You know how much that probably runs right now.
I have a Tiger Woods for the 2004. It's a 2004 PGA Tour game. Whoa. It was on the front of the Wheaties box with him swinging, and I also have a Michael Jordan mini Wheaties box.
Wow! Yeah. So back in the day, my dad actually worked. He worked at General Mills.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Dad. He worked at General Mills, and my cousin played basketball for Highland. And for his graduation party, Dad went to somebody and got a Wheaties box made with him on the Wheaties box. I wonder if I'll have to text him and see if he still has that box, because that was
big time. You never see that.
Yeah, cool. So he worked at General Mills down in Hannibal, which good place to work at. I mean, a lot of people work.
Shout out Xander Johnson.
Xander Johnson, one of your best friends, and a Lewis County kid as well.
Xander Johnson.
Love that guy. But yeah, no, it's been incredible, dude. Hey, this has been a wonderful time.
It has.
But before we get this over with, talk about this opportunity you have with Puerto Rico with us.
So it's insane to think about. So in the middle of December, I got texted by Michael Alvarez, was an assistant coach at Culver, and now is not. So it was one of those things where it was like, Ertz, do you want to go to Puerto Rico? And when you hear that, you're just like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
right.
And he's
going there for vacation.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
We're going to go chill on the beach?
We're going to play baseball in Puerto Rico. And I'm like, who's we? He said, me and you. I said, me and you are going to play baseball in Puerto Rico. He goes, oh, yeah. He sends me this clip. Yadier Molina was coaching down there.
Yep.
For the same league. And he's coaching a team down there. I'll be playing against Yadier Molina.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at first I'm like, yeah, Alvarez, you're funny.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours later, Puerto Rico Conquistadors signed Michael Alvarez as a head coach. I'm like,
I saw that.
He's not joking. He's being real. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm going to be a long ways from home.
Yes.
It's basically playing. You're
basically playing
semi-pro baseball.
Yeah.
It is going to be it's basically pro baseball down there. I can't say his name, but something Franco that played for the Rays played there. I'm not going to get into that, but he played there. A lot of other Major League Baseball players played there. Yes. Ethan Salas, this 19-year-old catcher for the Padres, played down there. There's just a whole bunch of guys. The list goes on and on and on and on. It is just going to be one of those things that it's a one-life thing, one time. Yes. You can tell your kids you're doing it. There's nobody around here that I can ever think of that has ever done this ever. And a small town kid from Payson Seymour High School that graduated 18 people is going to Puerto
attending
Rico.
A small college in the middle of nowhere at Culver-Stockton College.
Puerto Rico to play semi-pro baseball. Semi-pro baseball. It's collegiate
ball.
Dude,
you've had such an incredible journey. Like, you came into Culver just as young sophomore coming from a college up in Chicago, played summer at the Doggy Paddlers, talked with the coaching staff there, and they're like, come to Culver, and you did. You took a chance. You came home.
And I get emotional by this because when I was younger, man, I tell you what, I was nothing. I was literally, I was like Xander Johnson says all the time, I was debatably the worst baseball player you've ever seen in your life. And it was one of those things where my dad sat me down and goes, I'm tired of watching you suck. Do you want to be good? And you sat there and you're 8 years old and saying, yeah, I want to be good. And it was hours and hours and hours in the batting cage in the gym. And one thing I like to tell the people that I coach, there's a kid, Cade Roundcount. Shout out Cade. I'll send this video to him. He has it all. Yeah. He's a stud. I mean, he's going to be a great baseball player for Payson. And the one thing I tell him when I'm a coach for him during the summer is, do you want to be a loser all your life? Do you want to be a loser that just looks at it like, what can I do? Like, when you're 30 years old, you're going to look back on the stuff you could have done and be like, man, what? I can't change it now. And that's the thing I've always lived on. My dad and grandpa have always told me, you got to set yourself in a past or future self. And you want to just be like, I want to look back and be like, man, I took every opportunity with a grain of salt, and that was the thing I needed to do.
Right.
And if I don't make it pro, which is I might play indie ball, hopefully. It's slim and I still got 3 years left. So that's a big shot. But I can sit down when I'm done with baseball and say I've done everything I need to, and that's not just because of me. It's from my family, teammates, coaches.
Yes.
I wouldn't have this opportunity without BG. I mean, he talks to me a lot, and you don't see that.
And I will say this about Brett. He could care less about what goes on that field. But if you have some kind of success off the field, he is proud of every one of his players whenever they bring whatever success that they have off the field and let him know about it. He is proud of that. He will always congratulate people on their success that is off the field. Because while yes, he is there to try and coach and bring a winning team to Culver for baseball, he is also developing and creating men.
Yeah.
And for the future.
And the thing is with BG is during the doggy powers, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Remy. I'm throwing myself under the bus. I was the most selfish guy you've ever met. Like, it was one of those things where lifetime dream came true. I was all about myself, did not care about the team.
Yeah.
And I was all about stats.
Yeah.
Because I did not play I didn't play college baseball that year.
Yeah.
I was 9 months without baseball all the way until that first game for the doggy powers. And I was in my senior body still. Yeah. I had no idea what college baseball felt like. I was running in there blind. And now I'm a sophomore here at Culver. I'm playing. I'm having fun. I don't care about stats. I'm having fun with my boys. Because guess what? This Culver team is one time. The Culver team next year changes. We get freshmen coming in. The seniors graduate. It's a one-time thing. And it's one of those things where you just got to live it in the present day, and I love it so much.
And not just that, you have built yourself such a career on becoming such a media personality because, you came in and you just like, man, I want to do commentary and stuff. And we started getting you behind a microphone and everything. And dude, you have just developed into such an incredible talent. You have been so fun to call games with and everything. And I thank you for joining me for a lot of those games and everything, especially during the Tony Lanzini and during those district games and everything that we had to call for Highland and Clark County for KMEM Radio. And it was just so incredible. And you have just developed. And I am so happy for you, young man. And I just congratulations for everything.
Thank you, Remy. I really appreciate that, man.
Well, this has been Shooting Thoughts with Remington Yates and Ertz. I thank you so much. We talked a lot. Boy, this video is going to take a while to upload.
How long was it?
We are sitting at 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Did you expect anything less, though? I didn't.
No.
I knew it was going to be long.
Yeah.
I'm glad, though.
I don't know when the next episode is going to be up to or whenever we're going to record the next episode, but thank you so much, good sir. And we will see you all next time. Make sure to tune in next time on Shooting Thoughts with Remington Yates.